The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Carson-Newman falls and gets shut out by Lee for the second time this season, losing 2-0 here on the Eagles Sports Network. Andrew Rogers here with head coach Tom Griffin. Coach, you get shut out, but you had some chances throughout this game to score. You strand 10 runners on base. Had some really good chances with less than 2 outs, bases loaded. Second and third, 1 out. First and second, no 1 out at the start of the game. Breakdown in this game why your team was unable to capitalize on some opportunities to score runs in this game.
Well, hitting's hard. Round ball, round bat. Arms they threw were quality Division II arms for sure. So it's not easy for sure. But that's probably my fault because the way we have some guys in that box and their approach, and we were talking earlier, you sense there's some guys, you look at their average and they're having a good year and you wouldn't know it at the box. This hitting is all about confidence. It's self-confidence. It's confidence with your teammates. And I've talked with some guys before. It's like, you take a pitch, it's outside, and they call a strike, and then the body language, like, oh, it's like this pouty look. It's like, wait a minute. So what? I go down to watch University of Tennessee, and those cats know they can hit, and they don't care if they call a bad pitch because they still got another strike. They're ready to go to work. There's a mindset in that box. And some guys, it just has this look like they're hitting 150 for the year, and they're having good years. And they don't understand when you square a ball up, that's all you can do. If it's caught, that's it. It's got like this little league mentality. Well, I didn't get a hit, so it was a bad at-bat. You got to be more mature as a hitter. You got to handle things better than that. You got to go up there with the body language a little bit better. And we've talked to some guys about it. We're going to continue to talk to them because there has to be some maturity. There's got to be some maturing. And we talked about this. With our wins, with our losses, we want to learn from every experience. We've got to learn to mature more as players and play like you're hitting 500, even though you're only hitting 300 or you're hitting 100. But you act that way. It's how you, even when you make an out, you come off like you were lucky to get me out right there, right? And it's a mindset. But you got to do that every time. And we got to grow in that area. We had some good pitching. There were some guys that gave us some good outings. Frankie made a mistake back there. Too tight to the batter. Not able to throw a guy out at third because he's too tight. He can't get around him, and it affects his throw. And so that was his mistake. Not realizing where he is on the field. All right, outfielders, infielders have to know where they are in the field. Catchers have to know. And he got too far up underneath the guy, which caused us not to be able to get an out here at third base. Base hit, 2-run score, and then obviously our bats weren't going to be there. It was a pitching and defensive day. Their hitters came through with the hit. Their pitchers did better than our hitters.
You mentioned the pitching. Got some really good pitching performances. Andrew Bench gives up the 2 runs there on the 2 outs, but he had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. Christian Henderson had 3 scoreless innings. Mark Salico, Branson Angel, Blake Cooper, Eli Norris, a bunch of different guys. What you like about how they had to navigate through some tough situations, especially Mark in the 7th inning, to keep you in this game and keep it close throughout?
Well, very encouraging. Christian Henderson especially, man, he'd been starting midweek games. He's a high strike percentage guy. We just felt like too much of it was in the middle of the plate, and he locates well. There was more conviction. Maybe it was a different mindset when it came to not starting, but I thought he was exceptional for us and kept us in there. Salico getting out of the jam he had. Bench, a good start for us. We need him in the weekend, so he was going to be limited in what he did. Angel, again, another guy we're trying to make sure we get through. I thought he made some quality pitches. Again, a little more conviction, a little bit more chutzpah, and throwing the pitch like I'm getting this guy out versus like I hope to. And I think some of the at-bats we have, some guys are like, I'm hoping I get a hit here instead of like, I'm going to get a hit. And if I swing at a ball in the dirt, I'm going to make contact. And if I swing another ball in the dirt, so what? I'm going to put a ball in play here with 2 strikes. It's a mindset. That's what it is. This game that's what this is all about, good and bad. But we've got to learn from it. We've got to grow from it.
We mentioned this before we started the interview, but sometimes offensive woes have been recovered because of Ryan Higgins, Colton Kaysen, and how phenomenal those two have been as starting pitchers for your team. So is this, you never want to take a 2-0 loss and have the bats struggle as they did today, but how can you take this as a positive note to realize, okay, it happens now, it happens in a non-conference game, let's learn from it and hope it doesn't happen down the road?
Absolutely, yeah. And all the guys, have all, the lineup we had today have had good at-bats and having good years. But what we got to do is just like good hitters, they have short streaks of non-hitting or bad streak. It's very short. Now, the bad ones, it continues on. So far this year, these guys have done a real good job of shortening the struggles. They've done a good job with that. But again, our expectations as coaches, our expectation as parents is not to have the letdown, right? It's a special year. It's a special day. Well, let's not let it slip away because of what we've allowed our mind to do. And I think sometimes it's okay to have, we have to turn up the intent a little bit and the focus a little bit. Now, you want to play even keel, but sometimes you got to, it's like a police officer in Kenville, New Jersey at 3 o'clock in the morning, had nothing to worry about. A cop in L.A., 3 o'clock in the morning, hey, he does his job, but he's got to have a little bit of perk in the air. He's got to be a little bit aware. Sometimes as players, you have to have that and realize what the situation of this game was going to be. We could sense what was happening with certain at-bats that, hey, it's okay if we got to turn the dial up a little bit. If we all got to come together and realize, hey, there's some water coming on right now. Let's carry ourselves in a championship way, individually and as a team. And I thought Spencer Williams tried to do that with our guys. And again, had some opportunities, even late in the game. I don't have a problem at all with Jenkins trying to stretch that into 2. I think that's a great idea. He gets thrown out to end the game, but that's a great job. It's being aggressive. You got to get in that scoring position. And we needed a lift. We needed a spark. That would have been the spark. So, yeah, we got some things we could talk about tomorrow and continue to grow. That's what you want as a team. We're never going to be a finished product, ever. Even as a person, it's not that way.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time. We'll talk to you later this weekend.
Thank you, buddy.
That's Carson-Newman head baseball coach Tom Griffin. I'm Andrew Rogers here on the Eagles Sports Network.